Good evening, one and all. Welcome to tonight's racing. Tonight we are at round 2 in Interlagos, Brazil, for the CXR TV GTE Season 4. So track temperature looks pretty toasty at 24 degrees. Humidity's okay, 58%, with a wind of 14 kilometres an hour. Tonight, as usual, I have Phil and Ruben, my co-commentators, with us.
Good evening.
Good evening, guys. Right, so I'm just gonna take everybody through the championship on screen. So there we can see the GT Pros. Ismail Martin currently leading the way on 25 points, with 22 points for. I need to change his name actually, but Fernandez with 22 points, Mark De Haro 20 points, and Juame Torres, who unfortunately has had to retire from the season. So his teammate just behind him there, Pablo Aspaz De Haro, 15 points, and Morgan Thompson with 15 points. But just have a look at who is at the top of the GAMs. Daniel Sedgley currently leading the way for Flat Out Sim Sports with 25 points. Juan Santabella for Banzu RX Flow, 22 points. Matt Acton for Flat Out Sim Sports with 20 points. Carlos Ruiz for Banzu RX Flow with 18 points, and Kieran Smart with 16 points, who is a privateer. So we'll hopefully be able to update these towards the end of the race and try and get like a current kind of situation going on as we go. But we have the AM qualifying just kicking off now, so let's go live to the circuit. Currently down there on their opening laps. Hopefully we should have a good race here. Obviously there's a few difficult corners. There's a few corners I was noticing when I was doing some practice just to kind of gauge the track. There was a few bits where you can kind of lock up quite easy.
Like you don't know the track, Phil.
No, exactly. I mean, it's not like we've done multiple races around here. Welcome DSRT official, Frosty Bird, who unfortunately can't race today as well, but cheers for watching the stream and sticking it on. Appreciate that, man. Let's see what these guys can start putting in. We're seeing some quite interesting times during practice. Some were into the 29s. I'm not sure if any of the AM drivers were in the 29s. I think they might have been low 30s, but.
Well, actually, the current pole sitter for the AMs, Pablo Prado, did a 129.9. So it's close, but it was in the 129s.
Have it then. So yeah, it is going to be close even between the two different classes of drivers. The classes are only split on our rating. There's not really much I can do about that. You can't really ask people to do laps based on their category, because then they may do slower laps than what they should do just to get into the other category. So it's the only thing we can kind of do just to gauge people. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this race. It's a great track to race. I'm not sure how hot it's going to get during the race. We have started early morning, so the session started at 7 o'clock in the morning in sim time. Today's date as well, so relatively how it is. But I think the temps are gonna get to about 30 degrees. We can just take a little look. 27 degrees at the moment, so yeah, they may raise up just slightly.
Well, even with 45 cars on track, it will be on fire tonight. It will be on fire, mate. Gotta love some Interlagos, Brazil. Such an awesome track. Got some good straights to get the higher top speeds. You got the more of a difficult middle sector with the slow, tight turns, but still some good overtake opportunities on this track. But especially turn 1, it's gonna be something else. Probably where the most overtakes will be done, I reckon. So yeah, looking forward to it.
How we doing, Mark? Have you got that tea ready now?
No, I'm still waiting for the boss. It's very poor service, I have
Oh,
to say.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Words later.
Yeah, I think some words later on.
But come with a Jaffa cake or there'll be trouble. I'd do an Alex Ferguson and throw it at her.
Well, in the meantime, Mr. Kieran Smart jumps to P2 with a 130.7, just over 10th behind Pablo Prado, who's still leading the Aeons. We see Miles Owens jumping to 11th position.
I'm surprised actually how close all the quali times are. I know they've only had a couple of laps. Just to confirm to all watching, 25 minutes on the clock. We've got staggered qualifying in case people are wondering where the pros are. What's the limit for the amateurs? Is it 12 minutes or something?
So 10 minutes each. Yeah, we got. Sorry, I was just reading chat. We got 10 minutes each. So AMs go out for 10 minutes. They get to finish their qualifying lap on the 10-minute marker if they've gone over the line. Then there's a few minutes of a break. And then we have the pros coming out for the final 10 minutes, and they get to finish their lap as well if they go over the line at the marker of the 25-minute limit for the whole of qualifying.
Excellent. So they better get a wriggle on. They've probably got realistically 2 laps left, or this lap plus another. But times are very tight. So Prado is currently leading at 130.5 with Smart in second place, 2 tenths behind. Johnson in third, another 2 tenths behind. And Sedgley posting a time 7 thousandths slower in fourth. So it's nice to see that we've got not such a Spanish domination in this one, although the pro one's likely to be very different if last week is anything to go by. Be a lot of close racing in the amateur class.
Yeah, and we can just see some onboard video shots of Arnold Channonnet and Chris Needham from RWC Racing, kindly provided to us for the streaming pleasure. See Chris there with his VR headset. In fact, I think Arnold Channonnet's got a VR headset on as well. I would guess so, because either that or he's forgotten to plug his screen in. And he's just going in absolutely blind, but I'm going to have to go with the fact that he's got a... can't quite see his head. Yeah, so he's definitely got VR on there. That would be very weird if he's racing with no screen and no VR.
Mark, can you answer that question?
I'll ask myself, shall I?
So, well, anyways.
Private joke, people, don't panic.
Prado's still leading the way. We've got about 5 minutes left of qualifying. We see any changes. We see Kieran Smart, who's currently in P3. He had a purple first sector, but then 2 yellow ones. Well, there you go. He puts in P1, 130.506. Only 8 thousandths of a second quicker than Pablo Prado. So, talking about close.
So, if you're over the line, I presume you get to do another lap, do you?
Yes. Sorry, if you go over the line at the 10-minute marker, you can still complete this lap, but
So,
then you have to pull over at the side of the road and
Mr. Smart probably timed that perfectly then, because I think he hit the line literally on the 10 minutes, so he probably gets to do another lap. Oh, look at that. Prado's gone at a second, 8 thousandths behind. Wow. That can't be a lot on these cars.
Yeah, he's going up the hill now to complete his lap. Unless he pulls into the pits. He has pulled into the pits. On board with maybe somebody else who's... Oh no, Rene Boschke also pulling into the pits. Kenneth Andreasen.
We've got Juan Santabaya, who is still running. And he was on a green and purple sector.
He's gone in as well.
Completes his lap, puts him. He was in third already, wasn't he? Yeah, so he's held on to that third,
Slight
but just
improvement,
slight improvement, just brought down the gap to over a tenth of a second.
So very good qualifying by the AM guys, and pro qualifying will start in 5 minutes.
4.5 minutes now.
3.5, not to correct anyone.
No, 4.5.
Is it?
Yeah, I
What,
believe so.
16th minute they're coming out?
Oh no, yeah, sorry, 3.5. Someone can't count.
I keep telling you boys every week, one day.
I'll leave you to the maths in future then, maybe.
Oh, Jesus, don't do what you did last time. I had me scrawling down loads of numbers on the last event again.
So we'll
I
just
don't
have
need you
a,
now with your super duper updated spreadsheets and
Mate,
tables.
you had that coming
Spreadsheets?
though. You had that coming.
we don't do spreadsheets at CXR anymore, we do databases.
Ooh.
Big data.
Big data. We're
I
going to
thought
the
databases were spreadsheets, basically. Or is it the other way around?
on a simple form, I guess. It depends how technical you're going to be with the formulas, I guess.
It. So who was on pole after all that? That was Kieran Smart, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Kieran Smart, followed by Pablo Prado, and then Juan Manuel Santabella, and then Daniel Sedgley, followed by Ben Johnson from Venom Works and Canon 8 in 6th. Carlos Ruiz in 7th, Matt Acton in 8th, Daniel Merchant in 9th, and Miles Owens in 10th. So there's 3 flat out sim sports guys right next to each other, so that's going to be fun.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see whether they get split up by any pro drivers. I know some of the pro drivers were actually struggling with this circuit this week, so yeah.
Well, I've spoken to some of the AM drivers, and that goes the same. Some of them were quick in other cars on this track, but yeah, they just seem to struggle with the GTEs. Well, we're going to see how it's going to work out. But as you say, it's close between the flat out sim sport guys, so
Yeah, so just a minute and a half until we go qualifying
Pro qualifying.
pro qualifying. If I've worked that out correctly, Mark can obviously correct me.
I can't see the clock now.
Can't see the clock.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it, Phil.
Get your teammate.
Yeah.
See Duncan Kirby and Neil Middleton readying up to go out.
Oh, look at that. Face for radio, aren't they?
You reckon that Duncan is again listening to the stream? Because I think during the last GT4 race he wasn't he?
He might have been. Let's see if he's going to reel anybody in live on stream.
Oh.
That's interesting. He races with the inbuilt Oculus headphones. I'm not sure I could do that.
Are you still racing VR these days?
No. I have now moved to triples, yeah.
And why is that then? Just out of interest?
Because my head does not get as sweaty as it did when it was in VR. That is
just your balls now with your AC.
well, yeah. Yeah, just the balls. But yeah,
right.
we got
it's not for a preference like it's better with triples, or I presume it's personal taste at the end.
No,
of it,
I think it's just personal taste. I do like racing in VR. It's there's nothing against it. I think just having the headset on was just kind of getting a little bit annoying. But we can now move to GTE Pro qualifying. They all start to roll out of the pit lane. There's some very fast times among some of these drivers. Ismail Martel is obviously one of the drivers to watch out for. And Andreas Fernandez as well is another driver to look out for in the number 56 car, but he's actually just gone back to the pits. So I'm not sure what that is all about. But yeah, Ismail Martin he's a privateer in this Porsche 911 RSR?
Take your word for it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to.
It's the 911. Although our racing calls it the 991, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's why I got confused, because I was uploading a setup the other day and I realised that it didn't say the 911 folder.
I think it had something to do with the setup folders, how they called it. But if I'm correct, it is the 911. Yeah.
Oh well. And there we go. So yeah, it is the 911 RSR. We've only got. Well, I'm not sure about that. We only have 4 Ferrari drivers in the championship. Most have settled with either the Porsche or the BMW. There's a few Fords. Let's see a few Fords lurking about. On board with one there of Edward Lack. Final sector. Actually, sort of times he's going to put in. But I think he's going to be one of the first drivers line, or that could be actually Adam Southgate. Okay, so yeah, that must have been his outlap.
I do have to agree with you though that looking at the lap times in practice, it seems like you're gonna get a mixed field today between the pro and the AM driver. So it's gonna be interesting to see what people will do in qualifying.
Yeah, it could be, make for some interesting racing, that's for sure. Again, Morgan Thompson currently leading the way with a 1:30.7. Obviously, that time is probably going to come down. Although it would be interesting to see an AM driver start the race at the front in pole position. Ooh, Pablo Prado? No, I think it was one of the Banzo RX Flow guys just kind of lost it there into.
That was Carlos Pascual.
So his qualifying is in essence over, I presume.
No, he can go back to the pits and go back out again. He's still got quite a bit of time. Still, what, 7 minutes left on the clock.
Ah, I thought the pros weren't allowed.
Oh, actually, no. I think you are correct. The pros are not allowed to go back out of the pits.
What can I say, Phil?
I know.
You make the rules up.
I make the rules. Yeah, you remember them. I don't. That's the way we roll around here. I've got too much on my mind. Too much going on.
Something always on your mind.
He's thinking about a power cut.
Exactly. I'm
That's
slightly
scheduled,
worried.
hopefully tonight.
There we go. So Andres Fernandez goes into pole position with a 1:30.19. Pablo Espaz just puts in. I was about to say goes into second and throws, but he's beaten by Marco De Haro. Mark De Haro, sorry, not Marco. Daniel Hernandez Galan for Banzo RX Flow moves into second position. Ismail Martin now goes into pole position.
Yeah, with the first 129.
Quite a big gap of half a second there between Martel and Fernandez, but we have seen some fast laps in qualifying from Fernandez, so he's got the pace in him. In the SpaceX livery, I think he's got on. So, and SpaceX is weirdly launching tonight as well. So,
well, I don't know if it's the same with you, but if I look at our local time, 5 minutes before 11 o'clock, then we should be able to see it even.
Apparently, yeah, we should be able to see it going past the moon. So yeah, looking forward to that.
The times are starting to tumble now. The pros are now hitting 129, mid 129s.
Yeah, Fernandez took pole position from Ismail Martel with a 129.6 as well. So it's close. Just under 5 minutes left in this qualifying session. And I saw a little spinner in the background.
Black just off the side of the track there, letting Fernandez go through. Fernandez currently sat in pole position, 120.6. Martel just 0.049 behind him, so yeah, very close with the pro drivers currently. But then got the first AM drivers currently sat in P8 overall. Nice little starting place for him. Tony Blanco puts himself up into 4th place with a 1:30.274. Speedy Kitten. I'm going to presume that you're actually talking about Morgan Thompson right now, due to a letter that he received in the post.
Is that what I think it means then? Is he attending a course near a centre near him soon?
I'm not really too sure what it's referred to, but yeah, we'll have to maybe find that one out.
Morgan Thompson puts himself into P3 with a 1:30.087. So one of the British guys mingling in between the Spanish drivers.
Good to see. It was like a Spanish Armada last week. Yeah, all the Spaniards at the front. Good to see a Scottish represent P1 in the AM class.
Why is there a Scottish flag then instead of a UK flag or Great Britain flag then?
Some drivers requested their own flag, so I've done it for some drivers, but I haven't done it for all drivers. I just kind of changed some of them to United Kingdom, but if anyone does want it changed to the localized flag, we can do that.
The Isle of Man.
Apart from the Isle of Man.
Oh. We get a bit of a Spanish lockout at the front then, so far as that top 11 we've only got 2, I was going to say British drivers, hopefully that doesn't offend Mr. Smart, but yeah, it's the Spanish guys last week, like you said, had a complete, yeah, one splitting it in 5th or 6th last week, I'm trying to remember the top of my head, and it was like top 10 all Spaniards.
So we do have one AM driver actually qualifying now because he unfortunately disconnected during the AM qualifying, so race control have kindly let him go out during the pro qualifying to get at least a lap in.
What a nice guys.
All heart.
Well, we're here for the racing. It's not we don't want to be harsh on some drivers. Yeah, I must admit, I'm just looking at the chat now. Yeah, we need some Italian and German drivers. We have 0 Italian and German drivers. We've got some French, we've got some Dutch. We've even got an Argentinian driver. And we've got a majority of British and Spanish drivers. Yeah,
so
so
it's qualifying done. At least the time's done, so who are still on a lap? I think quite a lot of people are still going for their last lap to see if they can improve. And just to call out, by the way, we haven't talked about race control. We've got Neil, Aaron and Craig again tonight for tonight's race control.
yeah, so thank you for them for sitting in race control. As always, doing a great job, trying to be as impartial as possible. All the racing. Just to reiterate, we do not favour any of our drivers. If they make mistakes, they probably get even more harshly dealt with than anybody else. So that is it. Gridding results to come up, and then we can. Agustin Vera Blanco pulls into the pits. Not a lot going to be complete as Carlos Pascual for Banzu RX Flow crosses the line. I'm not sure whether in a better lap, but that was a great little turn there he did into the center S's. Neil Middleton, I think, is the line off his final lap. Yeah, puts 1:30.79. Still in P14, Adam Dodd is, well, he was sat there on the pit exit.
So that means that the top three in AM are right in between the pro drivers.
Sure. Who got out, boy? Garcia.
I think Benitez is still on track.
Driving around. It definitely won't be a lap because I think it's a little bit past the kind of lap time now.
Yeah.
But while we're waiting for the grinning results, we can just take a look at his car. And so the Pro. There we go, GT Pro. Who wants to go through? Obviously, be quick.
Let's do it. In P1, we've got Fernandez with a 129.4, so good lap AM. P2 is Ismael Martel. P3, Morgan Thompson. P4, Tony Blanco. P5, Mark De Haro. P6, Augustin Blanco. P7, Pablo Espes De Haro. P8, Daniel Galan. P9, Marco Suazo. P10, Benitez Ramos Benitez. P11, Dion Phillips. P12, Carlos Pascual. P13, Jose Caballero. P14, Neil Middleton. P15, Adam Dodd. P16, Juame Fierro. P17, Adam Southgate. P18, Elmar Notenboom. P19, Edward Leck. P20, Duncan Kirby. P21, Daniel Torres. P22, Borja Garcia. And Jelle Hoogland is the last driver, P23.
DTMs. Kieran Smart takes pole, followed by Pablo Prado, Julian Santabaya. Oh, sorry, Juan, not Julian. Dan Sedgley in fourth, Ben Johnson fifth, Arnold Chenier sixth, Carlos Ruiz seventh, Matt Acton eighth, Daniel Merchant ninth, Miles Owen 10th, Matthew Hodges 11th, Sonny Polstra in 12th, Rene Bosch 13th, Ben Charlton 14th, Kenneth Andreas 15th, Jason Haddington 16th, Tim Rutten 17th. Wait for the next page. There she goes. Yanis Gillis in 18th, Damien Shave 19th, Paul Clist in 20th, Chris Needham 21st. Last year's amateur championship, struggling a little bit there. Dennis Miser and Kieran Williams 22nd and 23rd. Ooh. Gotta be quick, isn't you? 46 drivers on track.
Sure do. Yeah, you don't get any time for any rest.
Keeps you on your toes. So, I presume it's not a full lap, is it? Is it half a lap here?
Yeah, pretty much half a lap. Yeah. You start just before the, say, the middle sector. And then it's up to P1. Once the safety car comes in to keep a certain pace. And then it's on him to decide to go for the green.
He controls the hammer.
Cheers for the subscription there, Kieran Williams. Unfortunately, isn't racing tonight, but hopefully we see him back shortly.
For 15 months in a row.
15 months, unbelievable support.
Does that mean that's how long we've been doing this? Can't be far off.
I think we've been doing this for almost 8 years, but just not on iRacing. So
No,
it looks like
when did we start? I can't remember where it all started.
about 2012, I'm reckoning.
On what platform? Was it Project Cars originally? I'm trying to remember. Or Forza. Might have even been Forza.
There we go. We're
You go.
just waiting for the pace car to pull off, and then it's got to Fernandez when he goes.
We've got a Ford, a Porsche,
There we go.
We're
We are
going,
racing.
going.
and we're off.
We're almost going 5 wide into turn 1.
Oh dear.
A little bit of contact there. It's one of the cars turned around. I think that was Galan who was involved in the incident.
Oh no.
And there we saw some cars turning on the roof. See, Year 1 Racing, Flat Out Sim Sports involved in the incident in turn 2.
I've never seen so many
Ooh, is that
cars all
yellows?
start going. Yep, we have full course yellows.
Is that automatic, is it? Or is
No,
that...
that has been called by race control.
So we've got live flags. That's a new first. That Porsche don't look too well.
And race control call. This caution will have a double file restart. Lappers behind the lead lap cars.
Did you just say that in Dutch?
Sorry, did I say what in Dutch?
Whatever you just said, I didn't catch that. It's a double what? Double yellows all the way round or something?
No, race control says this caution will have a double file restart.
Ooh, and what does that mean in layman's terms? We're starting again, are we?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that meant. There you go. No. I've got to be honest, I love the Dutch accent, I really do. It's almost as good as the Irish girls when they speak.
Thank you, Guru. What? You're comparing me with Irish girls? What?
No, the accents. Oh.
These two at the front still seem to be racing.
Have they sped off, have they?
No, the safety car is out,
Alright,
so they
they're just
will be
meeting,
lining up
yeah,
behind
they're
the
just
safety
meeting
car.
the safety
They're
car.
just catching it up. Right. So the pace car, if that makes sense, is 70 to 80 kilometers an hour, is it?
Yeah, roughly till 80 kilometers an hour.
That just bunching
And
back up.
the restart has been changed to a single file.
That's probably wiser.
Does that mean in essence they have to hold position, or is it just a case of, like you said in the first bit, they're not going 5 deep into turn 1 sort of thing?
Yeah, it's to prevent the 5 deep into turn 1. Quite a lot of guys going into the pits, obviously, to fix their cars. Obviously, they all get a fast repair, so as long as they get in and join the back of the line, they'll they'll be able to actually restart the race and still have a fresh
lose too
car.
much.
Yeah, so
Yeah, no, it's good.
So Paul Joseph Klist for Year on Racing entered the pits. Pablo Prado entered the pits. And the same is for Jelle Hoogland. He also entered the pits. Did I forgot some names? Oh, I get some notifications.
got notifications of you.
No.
Hey, no? What,
No.
talk about emails
No.
again?
Yeah. Got a WhatsApp. Nothing.
So, in all the chaos the first lap there, Kieran Smart seems to have taken advantage. He's gone up to 6th, which is cracking. He's an amateur driver in the race today.
There we got a bit of the replay of what actually went wrong at turn 1.
It's just a little bit of nudging and stuff, isn't it? And probably cold tyres don't help.
It's actually the Porsche on the outside that seems to lose control and hit the BMW, which turns him into the inside of turn 1.
I mean, in fairness, considering the quantity of cars, a lot of them managed to avoid other cars spinning in front of them, which is good going. Should make an interesting race with some of the fast guys being forced to the back with their fast repair. But also keeps them in the race, I suppose, more importantly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we want to see a race here tonight, so yeah, it's one of them. It was a good call by the race control. We don't generally like to throw yellow flags in any race, but I mean, it's one of them. We'd rather see a race where everybody can compete, even if they have lost a few positions at the start of the race. Obviously, race control and us guys are obviously going to have to review a lot of things after the race and see what happened there at the start. So who originally caused any of that? I mean, there was quite a lot going on. So it was one of those.
Yeah, and as Kieran's quite rightly said in the chat, it's the first time I remember yellows being used.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever used a full course yellow, but correctly thrown by race control.
I think it's the best thing when you have so much cars on track as well.
Start
you
the
have
race, isn't it, as
yeah.
well? So have you got the button for like torrential downpour?
I would love that button, but unfortunately
that'd be
not.
brilliant, wouldn't it? Is that something they're looking to do at some point? Do you think?
Maybe.
I was just reading Matt's question.
I think
Those
even if
who
you
pitted,
even if you did pit, you would be dropping to the back anyway.
yeah, you're not allowed to rejoin your original spot, so it is join the course as you come back into the grid, so to speak. I assume by the same token, nobody gets a lap down because the fast repair should be quick enough to get in, get out, and just join the back of the grid.
Yeah.
With the pace the safety car is driving, then yeah, that should be the case.
I'm sure race control has it all under control, Matt, so don't you panic.
So hopefully we should be able to go racing. I'm not sure whether it's this lap. Maybe one of you guys with the text on the screen can actually tell me, because I'm a little bit blind here. One more lap.
And there we got the notification by Neil, one more lap, yes.
That's about my sort of pace, actually, the way they're running it. So, just for a quick update then, whilst they're still behind the pace cars, we currently have Fernandez leading from Martel, Diharo in third, Morgan Thompson fourth, Vera Bianco in fifth, Kieran Smart leading the amateurs in sixth. Espes in seventh, Blanco in eighth, Phillips in ninth, and Benitez in 10th.
So I just saw one more car in the pit lane. And we got another confirmation by race control that you've got a minimum of 2 laps under the safety car.
The lights are out after this race. Single file restart.
And the question is, what's this going to do for pit strategies as well? As we've got 35 minutes left of racing.
Yeah, I mean, they may not even have to pit now. So yeah, or they may have to pit on the last lap. So yeah, this is throwing us an absolute spanner in the works. I honestly didn't think we'd ever have to throw a full course yellow during the season. But just shows you, I mean, sometimes it's the right thing to do based on the fact that how many cars can kind of get wrecked on the first lap.
It just was a little bit too hectic. I mean,
quite a narrow track as well, isn't it? It's not the widest tracks in the world, is it, Interlagos?
Well, in some parts it's quite okay, but yeah, especially turn 1, turn 2, it's a tricky one. So knowing that the group of the AM class was coming up as well, while a couple of cars were there on track or just off track. I mean, we've seen what happened, so.
The safety car should be pulling in shortly. So 10 minutes gone. So in theory then, you could pit and take on extra fuel with the cars not fully loaded in the first place, couldn't you? To see out any fueling stops needed.
I now don't think you need fuel.
Really?
I mean, it all depends, because obviously they've still been driving around under the safety car. It just means they're not at full pace. So I don't think they're going to need to pit again. So this could just turn into a sprint race from here on in.
Did we had some drivers who tried the NASCAR style by turning off their engine? Just let the car roll.
Just let the car roll. Again. Yeah, it's
could be. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. That's one thing for sure.
Go back up the front.
So again, waiting for the safety car to pull in and for Fernandez to actually start a race for a second time. And we're off. It's green. Oh, and there
no.
we've got another spinner in the background. Pulls off to the side, so pretty much everybody goes through. Not quite sure what happened there. Seemed a little bit of contact. And turn 1 and turn 2 for now seem to be pretty cautious. And okay, I see one car going off though. It's a CXR, Porsche RSR, and another Ford and BMW.
Will be Edward Lack in the CXR Ford. Alright, hopefully from here on in we can get a good, nice, clean race.
Quarter of the way for the race already. But currently we have Fernandez leading, who's built half a second already on Martel in second place, who's another half a second ahead of Bejardo in third, who's just over half a second ahead of Morgan Thompson in fourth. So we've got 2 second gap already. Top 4. Kieran Smart still holding 6th position currently for the amateurs.
Oh, and there we see Dion Phillips going off, and I think that was on his own. Just lost the back end of the car. Yeah, just a little bit too eager, probably cold tires. He just spun out just before the last turn. That's unfortunate for Dion Phillips.
The first 2 already hit 132s. Kieran Smart with the fastest lap in the amateur class at the moment with a 134. There's quite a difference in pace.
Well, running in P6 overall. Don't
Yeah.
forget that as well.
I think you'll be looking at timing sheets. You can get caught quite quick. But we'll see. It's only early days. So.
We got some nice little group of cars on track. We have a group of 4 cars. That's Morgan Thompson leading the way in front of Blanco, Kieran Smart and Tony Blanco. Then we've got a little bit of a gap to Santabaya, Caballero, Fierro, Dodd, Middleton, Satchley and Prado. So still quite some guys who are relatively close to each other, and with that long main straight, got some drafting to turn 1.
That's there from Tony Blanco on Kieran Smart, so our current AM leader. Now set him P7 overall, but currently leading the way in the amateur class with Juan Manuel Santabella, currently sat in P2 in amateurs, and then we've got Daniel Sedgley for Flat Out Sim Sports, currently in P3, P3 in amateur class, but P13 overall.
And in the meantime, Santabaya just got overtaken by Fierro, so Fierro puts himself in P9 overall. And 8th in the Pro Championship, or Pro class. And Marco Prado Suazo just crashed. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
He's just over-rotated the car going into quite a fast turn as well. Did he manage to? Yeah, he did manage to keep it out the wall, so not bad going again.
There we have Miles Owens having a little bit of a tussle as well.
Alyssa spotted Ferrari there. Not many of them in this championship.
Or not. That is very true. Because they've got a battle going on between these two guys at the front. 0.3 of a second. Currently separating them. You guys are actually worlds away from each other at the moment. Adam Southgate just getting overtaken there by Jason Haddington.
I think Adam Southgate had a little bit of a moment a lap ago, so he is dropping some places. And we still got a nice battle behind René Bosje for P6 in the AM class, with Hudgens and Meisner just took the position from Hudgens. So well done by Dennis Meisner.
I assume 5th and 6th aren't related, are they?
I don't believe they are. They could be. I have no idea. I don't think they are. They're both race for different teams.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd
Same with,
imagine.
is it? Who's the other one we had 2 of? I can't remember. Was it Hart? No. Oh, who was it?
Ben Charlton just being overtaken there by Edward Lack, but actually gets the position back again, although I think Edward Lack's just blinked out a little bit. Yeah, so that probably is causing a little bit of timing screen issue. And Elmar No Boom just goes through there on Matt Acton. Different categories, but still battling for overall positions.
In case you're wondering if you're watching, I think is it the green stickers on the side of the cars is the pros, and is it the orange the amateurs?
Yeah, so orange, I mean, for most part, I mean, on all our cars, so it's all correct. So you can see the Neil Middleton driving around. He has green on the side of him to designate that he's pro, and then if I cut over to Ben Charlton, who is in the AM category, you can see he's got orange. Maybe I should actually match that up with the overlay. That might make a little bit more sense. Still a nice little battle going on for P1 though. So Ismail Martin just hanging on to the back of Andres Fernandez in the Ford Space X.
And he also set the fastest lap, 130.0. If he's smart, he'll probably be doing some more fuel saving to make sure he will get to the end. And we also still have a nice battle going on in the AM class, where Dennis Meisner has overtaken René Bosje for P6.
So Kieran Smart not being too shabby, leading for the amateurs in 7th at the moment, still keeping a good pace. He's lapping slightly quicker than the place in front of him at the moment, but he is getting caught by Caballero, who is currently behind him. So keep an eye on that. Last lap was half a second slower, so
We've got quite a train behind Adam Southgate as well. It's a group of, I think, 5-6 cars where Adam Southgate just has overtaken René Bosje.
And Borja Garcia just got through on Pablo Espaz maybe, but I think Espez, sorry, I think Pablo's just got the move back done again. So P22 overall, P14 in pro class. There's a nice little battle going on here at the front, or towards the front. Actually, we can go on board with the leaders because I think Ismail Martin is now looking for that little bit of a pass. They're coming up to some back markers though. I think that might be Tim Rutten of DSRT. Still points for most people out on the track as well, so not one of them where you need to give up. We've actually got a great little gaggle of cars going on here. Is a group of cars a gaggle? I mean, I don't know whether that's a...
Geese, isn't it?
A gaggle.
That is geese, but I mean, yeah, we can compare cars to geese, I guess. Dion Phillips looking for a move both on Pablo Esparza and Borja Garcia.
So Fernandez had a little moment coming out of the last turn, and Martel is right on the back of him. It's Ford against Porsche. Still, it seems like Martel is choosing to stay behind, putting a little bit of pressure on, but not going for the actual overtake.
Couple of little battles towards the rear of the grid with Elmar Newboom and Edward Lack passing each other a couple of times. Currently weaving to and fro.
Side-by-side action between Daniel Sedgley and Neil Middleton. Neil Middleton gets the move done, I believe. We just had a... There's so many passes going on, it's so hard to actually keep up. Yeah, Borja Garcia are just on the inside of Pablo Espez. Gets that move done for Mass Devils Esports on the R70 team. Obviously, Pablo Espez just had a bit of an issue at the start of the race. Some back and forth action going on between Edward Lack and Dion Phillips for Venom Works as well.
What I also find quite interesting to see is that Kieran Smart, the leader in the AM class, is just staying behind Blanco, who's in P6, and Caballero is in P8 overall, P7 in pros, and he is close to Kieran Smart, but doesn't really have the pace or the availability to make the overtake done. So
Matt Acton tries to go around the outside of Ben Charlton. Not going to get that move done there. We've just Carlos Ruiz just behind him for Banzo RX Flow. Back more towards the front. So yeah, we see Augustin Blanco just in front of Kieran Smart and Jose Calbarero.
yeah, he stays within that second, but he doesn't seem to, or be able to, or maybe doesn't want to, and try to fuel save a little bit as well. It all depends on the strategy. There we are on the main straight. Nice little drag race between the BMW and the Porsche.
We're just over halfway in the race. On the 13th lap, just racing now. Obviously at the start we had 4 or 5 laps of the safety car in the end.
Oh, Pablo, is that Pablo? No, that is, I think, one of the Wraith Energy drivers. So that could be Dennis Meisner, I think. Yeah, it's Dennis Meisner.
So Dennis Meisner had a little bit of a tussle between turn 1 and turn 2.
Bonus Gillis, they're just getting overtaken by Pablo Espaz, but who I think has actually just pitted, so not sure why he pitted. Maybe he took some damage repairs. Bit of a nudge there from Chris Needham, I believe it was.
I must say we have a nice battle still for P6 in the AM class between René Bosje, I think it's Matthew Hodges, Elmar Notenboom and Dennis Meisner. Not in those positions, by the way. It's nice to see CXR Racing against Flat Out Sim Sport and Red Energy Racing.
No, Dennis Meisner is in the pit.
That's quite interesting though. I don't think he had any damage to his car. And I think he was followed by another driver as well.
Yeah, so maybe he's calculated that you can't actually get to the end of the race. Obviously, we weren't sure. I don't believe you can make it to the end of the race without pitting now, even after the yellow flag. I mean, maybe you can, but for my calculations, I don't think you can make the end of the race. So hopefully everybody has to pit, because obviously it's going to split strategies and put everybody kind of worlds away from each other if they don't have to pit. When we make the fuel calculations, we don't normally base it on whether they can, or whether they're going to have to go through a yellow flag situation at any point. So just saying, Jelle Peter Hugeland just overtake Daniel Merchant for Venom Works. Moves himself up into P17 overall and P13 in Pro category. Augustin Blanco P7 overall, P6 in the Pro category with Kieran Smart just in front of him. Kieran Smart is driving really well tonight. It's good to see an AM driver being able to almost mix it with the pros, and that's kind of what you want. Like, you do want to see some of these drivers actually being able to start mixing it with the pros, because it just means that next season maybe they're going to move up to the pro division.
Now entering the pits. We've got Dion Phillips, Matthew Hodges, Chris Needham have all gone in.
But I do agree, Phil, it's quite interesting to see how the AM drivers are mixed with the pros. Like we said at the beginning of the race, some of the pro drivers said, but the same goes for the AM drivers, that they were struggling while we see a car going off on track.
Augustin Blanco just made a little bit of a mistake there going into the final turn before the long straight.
He did quite well though to keep it on the grass there, because the wall is closing quite quickly if you go off there, and it seems that he's pulling into the pit as well. No, he just took an inside line.
Come on, Nobu, trying to get around René Borschke. Actually managed to get the move done there. Sure, there's a little lock up with the brakes going into one of the final corners. Go back over to Daniel Sedgley, currently in P3 for amateur class. Just having a little battle with Neil Middleton and so you got Adam Dodd behind, and then Augustin Blanco just in front of him. So Neil's trying to make that move now.
And in the meantime, I'm keeping my eye on P1 and P2, Fernandez and Martel. Martel still is within 2-3 tenths of a second behind Fernandez, not making the move. But they are both pulling away from P3 though. It's now a gap of 7.7 seconds roughly to P3 the Haro. So overall they are the quickest on track.
Be interested to see if they come in the pit at the same time then.
Pablo Espes just gets the move done on Dion Phillips. So R70 team just overtaking Venom Works there. Nice little move. Like it looked like Dion Phillips was trying to make the look for the inside there, but he didn't actually kind of pull off. But Blanco goes back through on Neil Middleton. Daniel Sedgley just behind. Our current championship leader, is he not?
Pass.
You're supposed to be the stats man.
Oh, you said you're going to put live tables up. You tell me.
I did put the live tables up at the start.
Oh dear. I can't remember. I have the memory of a goldfish.
Seems that way.
Come back to me.
Pablo Prado just going on the inside there at Ben Charlton into the center S's. We've got Adriano Benitez just getting overtaken there by Elmar and Noteboom. Chris Needham. Chris Needham's here, just not too far behind. battles galore, but it's getting closer at the front. I don't think that Martel's actually going to try and make this pass until maybe the last 2 or 3 laps, maybe. Or maybe he's looking for maybe a pit strategy that he can kind of pass him in the pits and then he doesn't have to do anything on track. Got Neil Middleton and Daniel Sedgley into the pit lane now.
I must say the battle Owen, there has been an incident between Elmar Notenboom and Benitez. I was going to say it's a nice close battle between both of them, but Elmar Notenboom tried to get his nose right up there and was some slight contact. And Benitez got spun around. So there we see Benitez coming up onto the inside of Elmar Notenboom, and Elmar Notenboom tries to get his nose in front of that turn, but a little bit of contact, maybe even a little bit of netcode looking from above. But it was enough to turn Benitez around.
To answer your question, Phil, yes, Daniel Sedgley was the winner last week. I think if you go to a live table in the amateurs, Santibaya will be leading. Finished second last week, and he's currently second in the amateurs this week at the moment.
Well, we will show the live table at the end. It may not be 100% correct. We'll have to wait and see what race control come back with from some of the incidents during the race. I will try and get that up on screen for everybody. I think Chris Needham is just trying to have a little battle there with Rene Boschke. Closes the door.
It's a nice little battle between RWC Racing and CXR Racing. And we've known that Chris Needham is a very good driver. He won the AM Championship in last season's Porsche GT4. So a nice little battle between the both of them.
On board with the leader still, with Martel just over 0.2 of a second. Just like, can you imagine having to race the whole entire time with a car right on your bumper? Who's clearly not trying to overtake you. He's just trying to wait his turn and maybe see what happens. So there we go. He dives into the pit. So Martel is now into the pit lane. So could this be the time? Gonna have to maybe, yeah, gonna have to keep an eye on that. Dion Phillips gets a little move there done on Daniel Merchant. For Venom Works versus Flat Out Sim Sports. I believe that these two are in different categories, yeah, because Daniel Merchant is currently P6 in GTE AM, and Dion Phillips is in P15 in GTE Pro. There's been quite a lot of mix-up, as I would say, from the start. Multiple changes of trousers are needed during this race, I would say.
And that's just if you're watching it.
I think a couple of the drivers had so. Turn 1, lap 1. Still some battles going on. We've got a battle between Jelle Pieter Hoogland and Fierro for P7 in the Pro class. Due to some pit stops, Kieran Smart is now P4 overall. But like I said, it's because some of the drivers have stopped for a pit stop.
I'm looking now. So the top 4 haven't pitted, and then Juan Manuel Santabella for Banzo RX Flow also hasn't pitted. So Fernandez is now in the pit lane. I don't think he stopped yet.
Here he goes.
It looks like as well that Chris Needham made the overtake on Rene Borsche. He's currently in P8 in
Where is Martel?
AM.
Where is Martel? So he's just coming around the final corner as Fernandez is leaving the pits. This is going to be incredibly close as they come out. Actually, he might have extended the gap. I think he has actually extended that gap. So that pitting one lap earlier has just cost him a little bit of time, just based on fuel. But obviously, we know he's got the pace. So is he going to bring that gap back up?
I would reckon he will. Well, in the meantime, Borja Garcia is coming into the pit as well. The same goes for Jelle Pieter Hoogland. Neil Middleton fighting for position with Blanco, one of the two. There's some nice webcam views again from Arnaud Channonier, Chris Needham and Neil Middleton.
Weirdly, it doesn't even look like he's turning the wheel there, but somehow
He gets around.
yeah, somehow he's getting around there. So yeah, that's pretty good to see. On board with Arnold Channonier.
Good evening, Legger. And I hope Chris Needham's lights are turned up enough for his VR to keep up.
Yeah, that helps us spin in a bit quicker. Be fine.
Morgan Thompson doing extremely well. Currently sat in P4 overall and in GT Pro. Kieran Smart's now dropped down to P8 overall, but still leading the way for the amateur class with Juan Manuel Santabella currently in P2 for the GT AMS. Not much of a gap. Is there 1.5? Yeah, 1.5. So we've still got a battle going on in the GTE Pros and the GTE AMS. Right, that gap. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. You're just having a look at the lap times. Currently, the top 6 have all done 130s. Yeah, with the next 7 131s. So you can see with the time difference intervals that the top 2 are very consistent. They've pulled a 14-second gap between them from third. They're spreading out a little bit, starting to spread out a little bit, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little battles under a second at the moment.
Maybe a back. Yeah, that is a back mark of Damien Shave.
He's pulling over. And it seems that Martel is slowly bringing the gap down to Fernandez. But we've got just under 6 minutes to go, so the question is, will he be able to get it down enough to get that fight again for P1? In the meantime, Morgan Thompson has been passed by Blanco, so Morgan Thompson is now down in P5. I've got the feeling that Neil Middleton is battling quite for a long time with Blanco as well for P8 in the Pro class.
But Ismail Martin, who's currently got the fastest lap of the race with a 130.1, has managed to get the gap down to just under 4 temps. Just as I say that, it's shot up to 7 temps. He's gone back down again.
And 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes left of this race, so now it's into that danger time of when is Martel going to try and make this move? Because obviously he wants to win the race. He's been quite happily sat in P2 for the whole entire race.
But I reckon he doesn't want to finish in P2 though.
Exactly. He's not going to want to finish in P2. He's going to want to take that lead. It's down to a tenth of a second. This is bumper to bumper action right now. A little bit of a mistake there actually by Andres Fernandez. Went a little bit wide and maybe locked up on the outside curbing. Martel's probably he's gonna have to try and look for the move ASAP. Yeah, just 4 minutes to go. This is gonna be a very tasty finish. These guys are probably gonna go side by side. Oh, there it is.
Move. He goes for the inside move there, but Fernandez on the outside had a pretty good run coming out of that last turn. So
Fernandez
he seems to be able to pull in front again.
Yeah, Fernandez just got that little bit of better drive out the corner. He's managed to hold on to that P1 position.
In all fairness, I don't think if it was the right decision to go for the move on the last turn.
Yeah, especially against the Ford on the straights. I'm not sure whether that is the best move to go for. Maybe he didn't have a choice. Maybe he just braked a little bit earlier than he was expecting to, and you have to sometimes brake and then go for what looks like a move, but it's not really a move. You're just trying not to kill your own car.
And Fernandez defending on the inside, while Martel is still on the outside. Well done. Great battle going on there for P1. Yeah, we got somebody saying, go on, Kieran Smart. Well, he's doing a cracking job so far.
Yeah, he's currently
3 minutes left in the race.
3 minutes left, and he's currently leading the way in the AM class. Santa Bay is just what 1.5 seconds off him. So I don't want to say he's looking too comfortable, because I don't want to give it the old commentator's curse. But Ismail Martin is still trying to put the pressure on Fernandez.
And I think that Elmer Noteboom just now had some of an incident. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but
just locked up and got into a little bit of a spin going into the corner. Tim Rutten just managed to miss him for DSLT Racing.
Well done by Tim though.
Yeah, that was just to realise that it was about to happen.
Oh, and in the meantime, Martel is really on the back of Fernandez there. Fernandez again going for the defensive move.
Yeah, he is putting the pressure on side by side going into turn 4, I think.
Looked like a little bit of contact, not quite sure. Well, it's hard and fair racing, but Martel has dropped back a little bit because of it.
Looks like it's going to be this lap plus one other to see the race out.
And the same goes for Neil Middleton, by the way. He's now closer than he's been before on the back of Blanco for P8 in the Pro class.
I actually gave him the commentator's curse.
Oh,
and he locks up going into turn 4.
I'm very sorry, Neil. I'm very sorry. And I think René Borsche as well had some of a spin somewhere. Currently in P9 in the AM class.
50 seconds to go.
Is now right behind Kieran Smart. Or he was got it gapped down to 2 tenths. So
another very close finish there then for the leading AM cars. And Smart was leading the race the whole way through, so he definitely wants to finish in P1. But Santabaya, of course, wants to take it from him. So we'll see in the last lap if he'll be able to. Well, we switch back to the fight between Fernandez and Martel. Again, it's ever so close. And again, Fernandez going for the inside there at turn 3. Keeping Martel behind. Must say, great job what the guys are doing so far during the whole race. It's hard, but it's fair. I think it will all come down to who has the best run coming up onto the main straight, though.
Will do. Martel, tries to look for the outside move there. Not going to get that one done. I don't know where. Yeah, I think it's one of them where you're just gonna have to wait until like the last corner, I guess, at this
It's going
stage.
to be MotoGP styling, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see the difference in lines that they are driving as well, but they still be able to pretty much drive the same pace.
Oh, he's
And
gonna
there he
go
goes
for it.
again for the inside.
Is
But
Fernandez is
again,
gonna get the better
Fernandez-
drive? He's gonna get the better
Yeah.
drive. That's gonna win the actual. Gonna win the round.
Great
Same as what
driving.
happened 2 laps ago, wasn't it?
Great driving. Yeah, it was the exact same thing, but yeah, he had to try it. But Fernandez kept his car on the outside quite well, had the better run. So, congratulations to Fernandez for winning this race, and for Martel finishing in P2. We see Chris Needham and Matt Acton both have finished behind the leading cars. Now we're waiting for Dahado to finish. He just did in P3, so the last podium position for the Pro class. Blanco finished in P4, Morgan Thompson P5. And then we've got Caballero finished P6, Fierro P7. Kieran Smart won the AM class, so congratulations to Kieran Smart, and a great job by Santibaya as well, finishing in P2. And Mr. Setchley finishing in P3, so on a podium position in the end. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Disconnected 1 lap from the end of the race. Wow.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That massively sucks. Marco Prado has actually just passed Carlos Ruiz 4th position on the last lap as well.
And Arnold Chanier got beat by 100th of a second on the line as well.
By Daniel Merchant. So flat out sim sport. Daniel Merchant finishing in P6. Great job. Arnold Chanier P7 for RWC Racing. P13 in Pro. Mr. Benitez and Dion Phillips P14 in the Pros. Dennis Meisner finished in P8 for the AM. Mr. Dodd finished in P15 for the Pros. Chris Needham P9, Matt Acton P10, Jason Eddington P11, and Shoni Poelstra P12.
Actually, bring it up. The results for the GT Pro.
Yeah, if you bring up P1 for me, then I will.
Oh, that would be a good job.
And there we go. So, Mr. Fernandez had a great battle all race through with Martel, but finishes in P1 with Martel finishing in P2. Mark Daharo finishing in P3. Tony Blanco P4. Morgan Thompson P5. Jose Caballero P6. Juame Fierro P7. Augustin Blanco P8. Neil Middleton P9. Marco Suazo P10. Adam Southgate P11. Boria Garcia P12. Rams Benitez P13, Dion Phillips P14, Adam Dodd P15, Jelle Hoogland P16, Elmar Notenboom P17, Pablo Espes P18, and Duncan Kirby P19, Daniel Torres P20, Daniel Galan P21, Edward Legg P22, and Carlos Pascual in P23 for the pros. And I'll leave the AMs to you, Mark.
Most kind. Oh, got the bottom half as well. So, Kieran Smart taking his maiden victory. Leading ahead of Juan Santabaya by 7/10 of a second. Daniel Sedgley in 3rd. Pablo Prado in 4th. Carlos Ruiz in 5th. Daniel Merchant 6th. Arnold Chanier 7th. Daniel Meisner in 8th. Chris Needham 9th. Matt Acton 10th. Jason Haddington 11th. Shoni Polstra. Is that how you pronounce it? I think it might.
Only Polstra.
Sonny Polstra.
Poelstra.
Polstra. Sounds a bit Russian, that. Finishing in 12th. Ben Charlton 13th. Kenny Andreasen 14th. Rene Borsche in 15th. Matthew Hodges 16th. Tim Rutten 17th. Damien Shave in 18th. Miles Owen finishing 19th. Ben Johnson, last week's pole sitter, finishing 20th. Jonas Gillis 21st. Paul Clist in 22nd. And Kieran Williams having the unfortunate... Was it Kieran? No, it wasn't, was it? I thought he disconnected. Kieran Williams bringing up the rear.
Yeah, so, Kieran's unfortunately decided to back out of the championship for this season. Just didn't feel comfortable in the car, and that's fair play. He just didn't want to get in anyone's way. Let me see if I can bring up that isn't the championship points. Or has it not worked?
No.
It's not worked. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to hide those for now, and we'll get those sorted for next week. Yeah, great racing by everybody. Unfortunate to start the race with the yellow flag. But I guess it was the best way to kind of mitigate the damage that could have been caused by so many things at the start of the race. So good call by race control to throw that yellow flag.
Yeah, I think it was a good decision to bring up the yellow flag.
Yeah.
I agree on that one.
Exactly.
And I think Dennis Meisner agrees as well, but he loves his caps lock.
He does love that caps lock. Yeah, so next week we're at Road America.
Oh, lovely track.
Absolutely beautiful track. I think that, well, it's much easier at the start of the race. Obviously, I always look at the start of the race, and maybe they're a new keyboard for Dennis. I always look at the first few corners and then kind of gauge it from that. So I knew that Interlagos is always going to be a difficult track to start. Monza GP is another difficult track to start as well. But apart from that, I'm fingers crossed. I'm thinking that it should all be it should all be good. So yeah, next week round 3, Road America, on the 3rd of June. Yeah, so we'll be back next week. There will be no streaming in between now and then, but that's as normal, once a week at the moment. We might expand it to 2 streams a week if we can get another kind of class going. Maybe we'll do some formulas, I'm thinking soon. Maybe
Or
a Formula
some
3
oval?
or some, well, no.
Oh.
I'm not sure about oval. But yeah, good thought.
We'll see.
Yeah. So cheers to Mark, cheers to Ruben, cheers to Neil, Aaron, and Craig in race control. We've probably got a busy night ahead of us, discussing everything that went on track today. I don't think it was poor racing. It's just it's very difficult. So many cars on track. Is what it is. It's racing at the end of the day. It's never going to be ultimately clean. No one's here for. You're here for the
Intentional
bar.
wrecking.
No one's here for intentional wrecking. Exactly that. So yeah, we'll review everything after the race and see where we are with the points, and yeah, I'll get those updated for everybody for next week. So cheers for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers, guys.
Cheers to you, Phil. See you later.
Bye bye.